You still not understand.
Maybe we already know what a passage means and we just forget.
Studying the Bible requires you to want to understand.
Come on, twin.
Like, what do you mean I gotta give you my last savings?
You gotta dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
Growth, that's where it comes from, like through correction and reflection, you know?
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Another Day, Another Way podcast when we get real about college, young adult life, and where every day we try to live in a better way. I'm Jose.
I'm Marlon.
And I'm Fernanda.
Hey.
I got excited because it was first try.
I know. First try. Wasn't got it.
It's light work, honestly.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's light.
come on
Okay.
now.
Okay,
Anyways,
Oh.
we're ready.
straight to the point.
Straight to it. Get to it.
I don't know about y'all, but this happens to me a lot, pretty
What?
often, not gonna lie, where you're like talking to somebody, any day type of conversation,
Yeah.
but you're not getting the point of what is going on. You're just
For sure.
on cruise control.
For sure. Sometimes somebody's telling me, and they went for too long for my brain, and I'm like, oh wait,
What?
I'm supposed to be listening. What they're saying, and then I'm trying to get context clues, and I'm just like, oh yeah. Sorry if I've ever done that to you.
Or whenever, like, whenever you may be getting in trouble, but you don't even know what it is for, and you're just like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
Can I tell a story?
Yes, go ahead.
Once upon a time, Jose was getting in trouble, like real trouble. And he was little baby. He was like, let's say 4 or 5. No, I don't know. He was
I was
older.
than that,
Yeah, I don't know. But all of a sudden, my mom's getting onto him, and I'm there, and this boy starts laughing. And my mom's like, why are you laughing? And Jose goes, what did you say?
I remember the joke.
I just remembered a joke, Mom. That's why I'm laughing. My mom could not take him seriously. She started laughing too because how can you start thinking of a joke while you're getting literally reprimanded for something that you did? But that's a good example. And that actually happened.
The
So
world could be ending.
Hey, I actually did remember a joke. It was a funny. I blame my dad. He said that.
it's them dad jokes.
Goodness. I'm not gonna explain it because it doesn't make sense going from Spanish to English.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. Why do y'all think this like happens? I know you said it's just too long.
Sometimes I think social media has ruined us. And
Attention span.
yeah, that our
Gone.
attention span literally gone. But also, some people struggle with just paying attention, ADHD. Like you actually have to constantly focus. Or for me, I can't stay in one place for too long. I have to keep moving. So if I'm sitting like this, then I start thinking, oh my goodness, my back is hurting. Oh my goodness, I need to go to the bathroom. So then I'm having my own conversation in my head.
That's a little crazy.
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes it's just the conversation is not important to me. Honestly,
that's just
they be,
rude.
I mean, come on. Like sometimes people be trying to talk about some stuff. I'm like, does this really affect my life or anybody else's life, dude?
Yeah.
Seems like
Yeah, I guess so,
you
yeah.
kind of issue, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, not around here, buddy. That's just goofy, bro.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we already know, we know. Or, like we know, or like, kind of like when people just yap about the same thing and they repeat themselves. Like, yeah, no.
Yeah, okay, I see.
I'm not about that.
No.
No.
We can tell. We
Come
can
on,
tell. We
fix
can
it. Fix it.
Anyway, be nice.
Like straight to the point.
Anyways, talking about this type of thing.
Yeah.
A long time ago, there's this guy. His name is Jesus.
Mm.
And he went through something like this. He was telling people over and over and over again, yet they didn't understand what was going on. So, sometimes you're going to be like, it's a good little smack on the side of the head.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Use that little thing. Come on.
Sometimes we just a little
Think.
slow.
Yeah. But anyways, I'll tell y'all real quickly. It's a good amount of verses, but it's Matthew chapter 16, verse 5 through 12.
Okay.
And I'll read it real quick. And it says, when they went across the lake, the disciples forgot to take bread. And Jesus said to them, be careful. Be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Not sure if I'm saying that right, so I'm sorry. They discussed this amongst themselves and said, is it because we didn't bring any bread? Like, hey, is this why? But then it's like, aware of their discussion, Jesus asked, you of little faith, why are you talking among yourselves about not having bread? Do you still not understand? Don't you remember the 5 loaves for the 5,000 and how many basketfuls you gathered? Or the 7 loaves for the 4,000 and how many basketfuls you gathered? How is it that you don't understand that I was not talking to you about bread, but be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and the Sadducees? Then they understood that he was not telling them to guard against the yeast used in bread, but against the teachings of the Pharisees and the Sadducees.
They're like,
Oh, that's what you meant.
After he gave him the receipts. They're like, they're here, the 5,000, the 4,000. Come on, twin. Like I've been telling y'all, bro.
yeah.
All right, so.
I mean, to be fair though, they forgot the bread though.
They did forget the bread.
Like, hey, bro, we forgot the bread. I'm kind of hungry.
I mean, what I think was going on, they probably thought to themselves, if this happened twice already, it's probably gonna happen over here too. And if he just said their bread is not trustworthy over here, like who knows, might have mold or something. We don't got nothing else.
Yes.
So what are we gonna do?
Right.
So he said, be careful with your yeast. Fer, what does yeast, like, why? Why is he talking about
What do you
that?
mean by
So
that?
whenever you're making bread, you add this little yeast thing, and it makes your bread rise, the dough rise. It makes it puffy,
Makes
big.
it alive.
Yeah,
Makes it
it's
alive.
alive.
Yeah.
Like sourdough, yeah.
And even with like a little bit.
Yeah, it's literally just a pinch, and it goes. Boop.
So here he's talking to us about the false teachings and hypocrisy and unbelief. And even in those like small little doses.
It can grow into something big.
Yeah. I mean, you can
Big
see it
and
many
bad.
places, right, Marlon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then
What?
he just kept looking at me. I was like,
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I was thinking about what you were saying.
yeah. But yeah. And then the Pharisees and the Sadducees, like, they were like different groups. They're not the same people. There's a reason they're both called different things. But they both resisted Jesus and misunderstood God's purpose.
Yeah, they were so focused on their personal traditions. Go watch the last episode. And they were just like, Jesus is not doing this. That's what we're focused on, laser focused on this. But Jesus was talking about a whole different thing, and they still didn't get it.
And mind you, they were like the ones that were like basically like the leaders of the church. They were the ones that like
And they were lost.
they represented God, and they were the ones that like basically spoke to everybody. They knew everybody. They were like I would say like they were like kind of like a government, but government in like a church way.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
they
yeah.
kind of like ran everything. There was one church, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
blind leading blind.
It was. Dude.
Yeah.
But you know what we gotta do?
What?
We gotta trust in Jesus, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be hard.
Yes.
We understand.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes, like, you know, Jesus likes to use parables, which
Yeah.
obviously it's hard to understand sometimes. You gotta really look into it.
You really have to want to understand.
Yes, exactly. Which faithfulness leads to clear spiritual understanding. So,
Yeah.
in this Bible verse that we just read, Jesus literally says, do you still not understand?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. But the importance of like this that we're talking about, like it takes faithfulness to do this, is because faith, it not only like it needs you to like think spiritually about things.
Yes.
It's not just about
It's not logical what you see, what you can count. It's I need to trust God in this, even though I might not understand now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not an easy thing. I mean, me personally, like it's difficult, you know, to kind of give up that way of like, oh, the things I can see, the
Yeah.
things I know.
Yeah.
Let's think about this. Does it make sense with
Yeah.
what I know?
Yeah.
But it's crazy that even like committed like followers of God can misunderstand Jesus at first.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I don't know about you, Marlon, but like when I like learn something new at school or something, first time I read it,
No.
nah, it's not going. It's not gonna work.
No.
Yeah, but it also happens whenever you're reading the Bible. Sometimes I have to reread the same paragraph over and over and over because it's still not clicking. And then I'm like, okay, I read it and it's still not clicking. Let me change and go to the dictionary and maybe it's not clicking. And then I have to go to the translation.
Yes.
Like, studying the Bible requires you to want to understand. It's not always going to be like, bling. God is going to reveal it to you like that. You have to work for it.
Yeah.
Anything that's good requires effort.
Yeah, that literally happened to me while I was getting ready for this episode. I was gonna lead and everything. I was like, okay, let me look it up. My go-to Bible is ESV. Looks it up.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? You know what? Let me go to an NIV real quick. Gonna be honest, not my. Like, if I can't understand it, let me go to the easier version.
Yeah.
Which is, there's nothing wrong with using
No,
the
there's
versions.
nothing
We
wrong.
need to. It helps us
yeah.
understand.
Yeah. I also think it helps us see the dependence that we need to have in God because it is all about faith and asking God to reveal what he is wanting to tell you there. And also thinking about like going to ask other people, you can always learn if it's biblically sound. You have to have that discernment and be like, okay, does this make sense? Does this align to God's character?
Yeah.
And then that's when it comes with faith.
Yeah. Like I was thinking about too how Jose said even followers or people who have been in the faith long can also kind of mess up. We could mess up. You know, I know sometimes I like, for example, Fred, you said sometimes we can like maybe not understand a passage. Maybe we already know what a passage means and we just forget. And we're like, what? Like, what do you mean I've been doing this wrong? I know what this says. I know what I'm supposed to do, but yeah, I'm still doing it wrong. And it makes you also like think you gotta look, you gotta be hungry, you gotta really like be like, okay, I'm gonna be faithful and I'm gonna study this and I'm gonna look for God's understanding in my life.
And not men's understanding because a lot of people focus on what like other people have taught me and that's what's true because you're just focused on a person's voice or a person's opinion, but in reality you have to go to the source, which is God. So we need to be aware of any of the other doctrines that do not align with what the Bible says because it's literally the authority needs to be the Bible. And then if everyone was using the Bible as the authority, there wouldn't be that many misunderstandings.
Yeah,
so we just need to be aware of that.
You can like see like this, like in the Bible verse you just read, like the disciples were like more like concentrated on them forgetting to bring the bread than instead of having the faith that they had in Jesus the past 2 times. Like these little 5 pieces of bread, this 7 pieces of bread are not gonna feed 5,000 men and 4,000 men. And then you got to count the extra people. At that point, they were having faith in God and Jesus that he was going to multiply it.
He was going to provide.
No, But then, and then this time they're like, oh, we forgot to bring this. That's where like they paid attention to that instead of their faith in God. But everything, all this encourages like patience and discipleship. Growth, that's where it comes from, like through correction and reflection, you know? Even in church, like, it's good to like listen to the Bible. It's good to listen to worship to do that, but you gotta do yourself the work too.
You gotta dig a little deeper.
All right, buddy.
You know where that's from?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Right. Anyways,
like, what do you mean I gotta give you my last savings?
Well, that's amazing. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. We are here every Friday at 10 a.m. Find us at ADAW Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can also find more content at lifeword.org. And if you are very intentional about growing and getting to really understand how to study the Bible, go to follow.lifeword.org. And you can do it in Spanish as well. Follow.lifeword.org/Spanish. And in this place, you get to literally get lesson by lesson video lessons. It's not that hard, so your attention span won't be affected here. And basically get to know more about Jesus and how he can transform you and your way of thinking. We will see you next Friday. Bye.
bye.